And timer, how are you?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Speaker, are you ready?
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're all ready.
Okay. According to OpenSecrets.org, a nonpartisan website, in the 2012 presidential election, over $2.3 billion was spent between both parties. There's a vast amount of money going into American politics, and it's corrupting the democratic system as we know it. Now, everyone of you in this class has the right to vote. You know, that's an essential part of our democracy, as we the people help guide and shape this country. On the day that you vote, every single person here is as powerful as any other person in the United States. But unfortunately, outside interests are stepping in, and it's making your vote count less and less. When I was in my 20s, I wasn't really, early 20s at least, wasn't interested in politics and kind of avoided the news because I didn't really pressing, and I just would rather be ignorant and have fun. Then one day I started to listen and became interested, and it was both a blessing and a curse. It was good because my eyes were being opened to the world around me and what's happening in the U.S. and everywhere else. But the curse was I didn't like what I was hearing. Unfortunately, just everything's looking horrible for our government, and it only seems to be getting worse and worse. In 2010, the Citizens United ruling opened the floodgates, allowing vast amounts of money to flow into American politics, corrupting our system. This ruling overturned a previous ban on corporations and other organizations from using their treasuries to directly fund or to advocate for or against a political candidate. This also rode on the back of another decision that basically overturned, saying it was violating the First Amendment rights of corporations by limiting the amount of money that they could spend, because they're saying that they couldn't spend the full amount. You're limiting the amount of speech they have, and that's also, hence the violation of the First Amendment right. These two things together have struck a huge blow in putting a lot of money into our politics, and really the corruption's becoming more and more rampant. If we look at just some of the money here, just in 2013 alone, the Senate, again, OpenSecrets.org shows that the Senate across the board raised over $218 million between them all, and the House of Representatives raised over $430 million. It's a lot of money, just in 1 year alone. Now, if we look at where it comes from here, this breakdown kind of gives the general interest groups that are looking at this. There are a lot of them in there, and they break down further on the website, which is very nice. But you ask yourself, why are they giving this money? This is not the goodness of their hearts. They want something in return. People don't. Nothing's free. They want favorable votes, or they want legislation they want passed. There's something they want out of this. Another huge problem because of Citizens United is you'll notice a very large increase in the number of political commercials. And the audience analysis, the majority of the people said that there were too many political commercials on TV. Another problem with this is that the political commercials don't have to be truthful. Because they're not selling anything, they're not under any statutes, and they're considered free speech, so they can say whatever they want. Now, as much as we don't like it, if these things keep coming on and people are hearing these over and over and over again, it starts to sink in, and this propaganda is going to reach them and change the way some people think, and they're not going to have an informed decision when they vote. If you want to look at other problems here, just look at our Congress. Last year, they were labeled the Do-Nothing Congress. They passed only 47 bills and only worked 126 days out of the year. The reason this happened is that many of them were in fear of losing their jobs by being primaried. Because of this ruling, the outside interest had a new tool to use to manipulate these congressmen or senators. What they could do is saying, instead of just saying, I'll take away this money and you're not going to get my donations, they're saying, oh, on top of that, what I'm going to do is that if you don't vote the way I want or do this, then I'm going to support your primary opponent. So that when you go, I'm going to put as much money as I need to behind him just to make sure you lose. It doesn't really matter, they just want him to lose. Also, in some cases, they're installing their own political candidates, people that don't really have any political experience. They're veterinarians, or they're dentists, or there's a number of different people in there. These people that they're putting in there are very ideological. They're zealots. They don't compromise, and that's how our government works, is the ability to compromise. And unfortunately, they also have only what they're going after. That's all they care about. Anything else is just dog food to them. They don't really care. Now, this is really affecting us all, as Congress and just our government's not working right You can look at last fall, the government shutdown. According to the Washington Post, it cost the country over $23 billion in lost revenue. And this is a major issue. And then there are a number of issues that the majority of the country agrees upon or wants something done about, and there's no progress being made on any of these because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them on the outside. You know, we need to start taking control of our government back. You know, this 2010 Citizens United Supreme Court ruling legalized bribery and made it added to the corruption in our politics. Reversing this ruling and preventing this bribery will help prevent this from happening and save the democracy we so cherish. Now, how do we do this? Very simple. It's just we need a constitutional amendment that reverses this decision and prevents this bribery from occurring. Now, what this will do is free up our representatives to actually do their job, to make decisions, to compromise, to work together. Also, hopefully this will free them up to listen to us, the people, on what we want and how to make our country run, rather than listening to these outside sources. According to HowStuffWorks.com, the majority of democratic nations across the world have some form of public financing. You know, also while severely limiting the amount of outside donations that can come in. As Dan said earlier, Australia also has this, but they have a nice added feature of you're only allowed to campaign the month before an election, really limiting the amount of money that can make it in there and the amount of influence that can be added there. Now, people will say, you know, corporations have rights. You know, they have the right to speak as well. Well, according to them, money is equal to speech, and if money is equal to speech, then those with more money have more speech and then more sway in the government, which is not how our government is intended to work. You could say also that, you know, just because they take this money doesn't mean they have to do what the people ask, which is true, but a lot of them do because they want to save their jobs. You know, whether it's to stay in the system and fight the good fight, or if it's the ability to just hold on to that position of power. And these outside interests, they're not stupid. They're doing this because it works. You know, the rich don't get rich by giving things away. They want something in return, and they're very frugal with their money generally. So imagine the government as we know it is gone. Corporations are taking over our country. Unions are abolished, leaving workers unprotected. Education is restricted, dumbing down society, making us easier to control. With no government, pollution runs rampant, destroying our natural resources as we know it. Now imagine that money no longer controls our government. Political ads no longer smear lies, and people are able to make informed decisions. By removing the ability to make vast sums of money in office, people that want to go into office want to help serve their country rather than serve themselves. People are able to disagree, but they're able to actually come to compromises that benefit, or solutions that benefit the many rather than the few. You know, they also listen to their constituents and listen to our voices are heard. So, since the Citizens United ruling opened the floodgates, allowing this massive amount of money to corrupt our politics, you know, if we do not stop this, your vote will cease to mean anything. You know, so what I want you to do is I sent you an email with 2 links. First one is an online petition asking for a constitutional amendment overturning these rulings. The second one is a link that can actually help you find your representatives and contact them to also ask for this ruling. Remember that our democratic rights are what many fought and died for. Don't let those rights be taken away.